Our second company is the Exotic Collections. Man, I come out here to make this statement because, again, we don't want people being led down the wrong path because of individuals who, again, don't know anything at the end of the day. And again, these are people, I don't know why, they continue to come on camera and talk because, again, no testing. There's no testing under these products. There's products matching house paint. I mean, it's just so much stuff that's going on about these products that's absolutely freaking bonkers on how crazy it is. And these are the same individuals that have misled people into believing their products actually do work, or the same people that are leading you to tell you that, oh, these projectors don't work. You know, you sound just like the industry. The industry will get there and tell you that, hey, look, you need to buy this projector because it has this, you need to buy that projector, you have that. And the consumer turns around and ends up spending tons of money for a projector, again, that's going to be sitting in a dark environment that is basically can't give them the ability of a 100% contrast level, and they still got to calibrate because the colors are going to be set off due to the fact that the projector can't push it on the screen. It comes down to the screen. That's what it comes down to. Unless you got a knockoff projector. If it's a knockoff projector, then you got both. But if you have a name brand projector, then you should have no problem being able to use our technology, number one. But you're not going to be able to get exactly what you think you're going to get from your projector. Perfect example, the P2. For a person who owns that projector. P2 has a 2,000,000 to 1 aspect ratio. 2,000,000 contrast. I'm going to say aspect ratio. That projector, no matter what screen you hit it on, unless it's one of ours, does not produce 100% contrast. You will not see this. What you're seeing is a darker shade of gray. And the more darker the screen you push up on, the better chances are you are seeing a darker shade of gray until you finally hit one of our screens, which is physically black. And that means that you won't need that option anymore because, again, what's the point of having large amounts of contrast if your screen is black? Now, I bring this up not because I don't have time to go back and forth. I'm extremely busy. I got orders to push out today. I have to be on 2 sites tomorrow. It's just going to be insane. The day is automatically an insane day already for me because I have to be on site today and drop orders off at the same time. So it's a little crazy today. Let me explain something to you. That Christie projector we used in the demonstration, that was used on the massive 250-inch screen on display. As a matter of fact, we ordered one for their company for outside. A person who does not work with venue projectors, who doesn't own enough venue projectors, has not done enough outside demonstrations on venue projectors, and again, I can't explain this enough, gray screens, white screens, even gunmetals do not work on the venues. Gunmetals have a better chance than a gray and white screen. If you're talking about that house paint nonsense you have over there, and again, I don't give you credibility for anything because you match house paint. You have no testing. If you have no testing under your product, we don't consider you to be a screen paint. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I preach it to anyone I'm doing business with, online and offline. When you see these great products, if they're not showing any form of testing, don't touch them. And keep in mind, we're picking up weight out there, a lot of weight. So when we tell somebody, and we can tell an industry, don't touch it, because what's going to happen is this is going to happen that we have the years of testing under those products and unboxing showing these products don't work. Now, y'all claim to say our product, oh, that's not going to work too well. We're on site every day now. So yeah, we got technology going up that's working perfectly fine. But the person who made the statement about the projectors, you don't know jack at the end of the day. How many projectors have you owned in your lifetime? I've had more projectors than most people have online. At one point, I used to have 70 projectors in my arsenal. I've had just about everything I threw against my screens. And venue projectors is a lot. We do so many venues. We've had people sit there and complain, like, oh, he uses nothing but venues. That's literally how much venue. We do so many demonstrations with the lights on. We have people like, well, when are you going to turn the lights out? We have people who beg us to turn the lights out. That's how much ambient light projection demonstrations we do. But for the person who made the statement, you don't know anything about the projector. First thing first, Christie, if you know anything about a Christie projector, they're called top tier projectors. So the Optima is not a top tier. ViewSonic's not a top tier. They're not considered to be top tier projectors. You have Christie, Ronco, Barcode. Those are considered to be top tier projectors. Before you run your mouth about a projector you know nothing about, these are projectors you find at Jay-Z concerts, these are projectors you find at Walt Disney, these are the kind of projectors you find out there. These projectors cost $500,000 or more. These projectors don't come with a lens. Majority, the older ones we have here, I'm pretty sure these lenses had to be installed in, because venue projectors don't come with lenses. You literally have to turn around and spend 50 grand for a projector, and then turn around and spend another 20,000 or more, depending on what kind of lens you're going to get for that particular projector. So this is a projector, like I said, that's way outside the means of these everyday household theater projectors. A venue projector is a different kind of projector altogether. This menu alone is insane. So to get up there and say, oh, it's a projector that doesn't work, again, we're the ones using the projector at 250 inches outside on display, and that's a projector I use in my environment. My screen is far larger than yours. My screen comes in at full size, 159 inches, 1610. My environment actually contains 10 times more light than your environment. You're on a P2 projector that's kissing a screen and a dark environment with Christmas tree lights splashing the back of your screen. Your environments are dark. And the reason why, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the P2, but even with all that power we have in that projector, your images are still a fail because, again, you match house paint with the exact same projector. A $3,300 machine matched house paint. That says a lot. It shows you how deep, what do you call it, delusion of grandeur goes on the fact that someone is willing to deny that very thing that happened and continue to talk on. No, your products don't work, number one. And the P2 is being downgraded on your screen paint. It's literally it's downgraded. It should look way beyond that. We'll be picking one up soon because I got to pick one up for an on-site setup. We're talking about we wanted a high-performance projector. You'll see exactly what that projector is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to look like what you're looking at right now. And also, by the way, we'll be turning the contrast off because it's not required on our technology. But one of the on-sites, we're doing a sports bar. They want a P2 ultra short throw projector set up in there, and I'll show you what that projector is supposed to look like in a fully lit environment. 3,000 lumens? Are you kidding? Right up on top of the screen? You know how easy that is? That's nothing. That's a cakewalk for us. The projector we had, the one we showed the demonstration, that projector sat back at 27 feet from the screen at 250 whopping inches at 720p. That projector cost me $270. It kind of talks like the industry. You are the industry, matter of fact, you are. The industry will sit there and tell you, oh, you need to buy this projector because it has that. You need to buy this, that, and the other, and cost the consumer thousands of dollars. Do you know how much money we save? And this is actual savings that we save for people when we do business with them. We save them thousands of dollars. This guy's going to need at least about 10 to 20 projectors in this setup. It's a big, big job. And if this is going to cost some $4,000 a projector, figure out how much money that's going to cost at the end of the day. I don't care. You can be a rich man at the end of the day. I don't make a difference. Even a rich man like to save money. So the fact that we can go in there and the setup he's about to do, we had a 250-inch screens on one of the displays. Guess how much money he paid for his projectors? Under $400, and he got two of them. He's using the Christie LW400s. That's what he's using. We use those in demonstration. Matter of fact, we use a couple of them outside. When we have experience, we have knowledge of that projector. That's why we chose it. You can't choose projectors that you don't have knowledge of, or you're not familiar with how they function. Again, like I said, this is why I come on here not only to put this person down, but to educate the customers that don't even listen to this person at the end of the day. He doesn't know what he's talking about at all, period. I don't care if you mention my name about this. We don't care, all right? We're on site. You're not on site. Do you understand how this works? Because if our technology didn't work, it didn't do what it's supposed to do, we wouldn't be getting these jobs. The reason why I ended up with that job at that big, mind you, I'm gonna put it out there. It's $1 million contract. That's what I'm sitting on right now. $1 million contract. I'm saying what it is. The reason why I'm sitting on a contract of that magnitude is because he walked into a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, where we did his screen. His screen is 180 inches in a fully lit environment. My buddy has bay windows on the back. It wraps around his theater room. It's not dark in there. There's a lot of light. He can actually walk out on the deck. It's a beautiful house. And he painted it on a 180-inch screen on, guess how much he paid for this projector? $200, 720p. That's all it cost him for his projector. And the fellow came over, his brother, saw it, and was amazed by, like, how the freak are you doing this? So he introduced him to me, and then me and him became good friends, and that's how I ended up getting the job. Because the fact that I can say to them, and they still are like trying to accept it, but it is what it is. We have to darken the environment. No, we're not darkening the environment. I have all the lights on in here when we run there. See, walk into my apartment, all my lights are on right now. I'm doing a demonstration in the next room. All the lights are on at 159-inch screen. My projector in my environment sits back 21 feet. So again, don't even listen to this individual. The only people who listen to him are sheep. And I hate to say it, but that's what they are. They're sheep. And people want to argue me about the sheep theory. Let me tell you about the sheep theory. We had a fellow who came on here in the middle of a live stream, ranting and carrying on with the racial slurs nonsense, same fellow. But even knowing that the product Match House Paint continued to support the nonsense. So that tells you that a perfect example of sheep. We use that now in demonstrations where we show that people are basically twisted at the end of the day. Because they will believe, and if you tell them the sky is blue, the sky is orange, they tell you the sky is orange, they will believe it's orange even though it's blue. So we're not speaking to the sheep. Sheep, we don't bother with you because, again, you believe whatever is whatever. We're talking about the consumer that's coming in and buying for the first time, and you feel that what projectors, someone's telling you the projectors we're using in our demonstrations are not this. Again, that technology and that projector right there, we've done more testing, more demonstrations, more displays than any other screen paint on and off YouTube. And guess what? The companies are checking. The first thing they'll come back and say, man, no one's doing demonstrations like you guys. Because they're not doing demonstrations like us. Because they're too busy cutting corners, trying to get you to spend money on expensive machines you don't need at the end of the day. First things first, for the person who uses the slogan, saving you hundreds, where are you saving any hundreds? You can't save money yourself. My setup in the next room is cheaper than yours. I got a bigger screen than you. Like I said, more light in my environment, and my projector picks up better color and 100% contrast. You're at a $3,300 machine and you can't even see 100% contrast. Well, it tells it right there. All right, I just want to educate the customers real quick. You know what? Do not buy screen paint from people with Match House Paint. This is a perfect example of what you do not do. Things I ask customers from the door, tell customers to ask these people from the door, make sure the products are fully tested before, forget these stands in my doorway. Make sure these products are fully tested. Make sure everything is time stamped before the product basically is shipped. That's something you definitely want to make sure. You're going to be sitting there buying something at the end of the day that doesn't have any testing underneath of it. And basically a product that has been rushed. We know how much we hate that crap at the end of the day, gaming and all that stuff. Buy a product, it's halfway done, or we'll patch it up later. I hate that nonsense. But again, make sure that the product is tested. It can show all timestamps showing that the product was tested before it was ever launched. Another test you should be asking for, how close does it come to house paint? Can you do this yourself? Make sure they have plenty of tests on that. And if those of you who have white screens, going to be painted over a white screen, you definitely want to see a demonstration of a comparison of a white surface versus a screen. You don't want it to match. If it's going to match, I mean, if you're going to have a slight little hiccup, I mean, you spent your time and money to paint something in that's going to have you have to get that close to a screen to see the difference. Where I'm sitting at right now, there's no way in the world you'd be able to see the difference between a gray screen and a white screen. It'd be virtually impossible. If a person has to get up and have to show you from finger distance on the difference you're going to get, then guess what? It's a waste of your time. If there's no real difference, it's a waste of your time. It's like people went out and bought that valve setup to find out that thing matched the white screen. It matched a $69 eBay motorized screen. That's a lot of money wasted, $700. Some people had paid $1,000 for that setup. This is the difference you should be getting when you look at white screen comparison to another screen. This is what you should be seeing. The reason why they hate us so much is because the reason why is where we shed light on everything, and they don't like that. They want to keep everything nice in the dark. You don't want you to ask very little questions, so that way they can rob you at the end of the day. They will convince you to buy a more expensive projector. You know why? Because their screen is lacking. That's why. To fix the problem that their screens are having. Oh, go buy more contrast because our screens can't pick up contrast. Buy this projector with tons of colors because our colors wash out. Buy a much brighter projector. Oh, that way you can pick up better in fully lit environments. And for those that sit there and say, well, your projectors are 4,000, 5,000, we have a page on our website called 1,000 Lumen Display. There's tons of demonstrations on us using 1,000 lumen projectors inside and outside. If you go to YouTube right now and you punch in 13 feet back, 1,000 lumens, guess who pops up? We do. Those are test demonstrations we did outside. There's tons of them. Now, for the fellow who basically made the statement, I'm not going to mention you because you don't exist here or offline. You do not exist for us. That is the same projector you were bad-mouthing on camera. That is a projector at 21 feet can sit there and show a star field and whatever it wants because we can make that projector look absolutely incredible. You know why? Because of the technology it's leaning against. That's why. That projector will not work on your screen paint. I don't care if it's 4,000, 5,000, I don't care if it's Christie, Barcode, Bronco, don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Pico, I don't care if it's Ultra Short Throw, I don't care if it's an 8K, a 15K, it will not work on a gray or white screen. It can't register, it can't read it. Staying in the dark with a projector that's kissing your screen with an insane amount of contrast to be able to try to trick people into believing that they're getting something. No, that's a lie. Gray screens are an obsolete product. They go back for years. The only reason why the gray screen had a lifeline because the gunmetals were so freaking expensive. People were like, you know what? I'm just going to go with a gray screen. Who's going to spend $3,000 for a screen? Now we have black technology now that can take out gunmetal technology. You don't have to spend $3,000, $7,000. How much money that person we're doing business with would have to spend for that environment if he chose to go in the route of certified screens? Two of the screens are 250 inches. And mind you, a 100 inch of a certified is about 3,000 to $5,000. You don't save anybody any money. For the fellow who made the statement, you don't save anybody a dime because you can't save money yourself. My setup in here is cheaper than yours. My projector costs 270 bucks. And even with the screen paint over here, that costs around $262 for 150 inch. I'm still cheaper than what you paid for. Your paint could be 10 bucks, but because you had to sit there and spend $3,300 for a machine, guess what? Yeah. My two chairs, my two leather chairs in here, my popcorn machine and projector and massive giant screen and speakers still cost less than what you paid for. When I had the other house, I had $1,000 leather sofa, reclining sofa in there. Still costs less than your setup with $1,000 sofa in there. You're not saving any money. You can't save money. You can't save hundreds if you can't save it yourself. More importantly, can you be in an environment like this? Can. So you don't know anything what you're talking about. Projectors from Christie, fantastic machines. Save yourself some money. Tie on backwards, Mr. Businessman. Save yourself some money at the end of the day. Don't get tricked into these paints out here at the end of the day. They're going to tell you that, oh, you know, you have to do this and you have to buy this. You don't have to buy that crap at the end of the day. Let me explain to the person who ran his mouth. There's the Christie projector. I'm in 720p right now. That's 720p. I'm 21 feet from my screen. And as you can see, my technology makes that projector behind me look absolutely incredible. Now, if you decide you want to go out and spend the money for a high-end projector, go ahead. But make sure when you buy your projector that you're getting what you paid for. Don't dumb it down on a product that's not going to work. A gray and white screen, even silver, is going to dumb your product down. And if you want to go into the realm of darker technology, then you'll spend thousands of dollars for gunmetal technology. This is why companies are choosing to do business with us, because again, we save them not hundreds, thousands of dollars. And I'm going to be doing an outside setup with the same projector over here for a display for that same company. It's not going to cost them a lot of money. $95 for the surface. They're going to do a 250 inch screen. It's kind of big, but we have to talk that over. You're going to spend under probably about $50 for their fabric surface from Amazon. We have an outside technology. You're going to be using that. You need a gallon of that. $462. And with the projector behind us right there, roughly about $300. That's it. And that still costs less than a P2. Now, since we have, and they asked us questions about, well, do you have the demonstrations on this projector? Oh, yeah, we do. We have it outside at 250 inches. Let's go get real quick. I'm not going to get IV-VIII going to do this today. We charge. Do not charge. Let me see. Alright, let's see if we got IV-VIII right. Oh, it is continuous charge. Alright, we're good. Right now, this one. We'll use this one. That'll make a difference when we need that one. Alright. And the microphone's running. So right now we're turning up this because there's some gaming later on today. Let's see. Come on. Pop out of this. Please using IV-VIII. Let's see. Yeah, you need to make sure you don't get ripped off, people. You don't have to spend all that money for expensive projectors. You have options now. Don't worry about that. And we established when we talk to people, we had these sit downs with them there. They're talking about thousands of dollars for machines they don't even have to use. It's too much money. Let me see. Yeah, I want to do that right there. Oh, no. I'll just do this one right here. Right, I'll take this in like every day. And we gotta be there for that too. Can we get it on here? Nope. I make us work for it. I make us work for it. Oh, I'll put my IV-VIII in. I can't deal with this right here. That microphone's nothing. Yeah, just to make sure that you guys know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Let me track down IV-VIII. We got it here somewhere. Now, those particular projectors right there, you have two options. I'll do a run through the entire projector, not today, because I'm going to be busy today, but tomorrow I got a little time. Oh, gee whiz. I'll do this early in the morning, because literally I'm not going to have the time to kick it in, because I got stuff I got to do. All right, let me see. I might grab me one of those Apple TVs or something, because right now the Fire Sticks are having issues every time I turn around. And I'm tired of buying them. I've bought dozens of these things. And they all have weird problems that pop up on the Fire Sticks. I love the Fire Sticks and all, but I've had enough of them to tell you from the door. They don't last long. I'm curious to go online and see exactly how many people are having the same problem I've had with these things. And I've had dozens of them. I mean, that's the Chromecast upgraded. Other than that, I do like the Fire Stick. I'm going to try out the Apple TV. And like I said, with certain adapters, I got to put my adapters up there too, my information on my adapters. Because there are two types of adapters that we use in demonstrations. There's one which we use to override the VGA, but there's another one that you can actually run for gaming. Because if you use certain adapters, they will not pick up on any form of gaming applications. You have to have a certain one to do it. So let's come over here. Let's see, right, the fire stick, do we have it? There we go. I used to hate it when I used to activate way too slow, and I had to go up there, look around the house, and try to find one that actually works, and then figure out the one that actually did work was in my hand the entire time. Today, Alexis. Today. Okay. Well, I was watching this yesterday. These are actually pretty good. Oh, this is my fire stick for the back. Yeah, because I usually watch this stuff in the back. Oh, this is a good one right there. That's good for relaxation. For relaxation.
You're not a family trip?
No, sorry, sir. Prices are crazy.
Aww.
So basically, if he's talking about peripherals on the back, man, you could override any form of peripherals on the back of projectors. If anyone sits there and says, well, you know, you have to have straight HMI to get a crisp, clear picture, lie. We've done demonstrations back and forth with 720p versus 1080p, 1000 lumens versus 5000 lumens, 4K versus 1080p, 4K versus 720p. We use VGA adapters versus straight HDMI. No, the black screen fixes all that. There's no rainbow effect, there's none of that. This is a high definition screen. You mean your contrast levels are so freaking sharp, all your details are going to pull through the screen. That's why 720p is not going to come up looking like it's blurry and washed out, because the screen has an insane amount of contrast embedded into it. That sharp detail image you want, guess what? That's what that black technology does. That's why if you hit it on a gray screen, it comes out fuzzy and washed out, and you have to spend the money for a higher resolution projector to fix the problem. All you're doing is buying more expensive projectors to fix a problem on a screen you just paid money for. That technology does it all. That's why we use 720p's in our demonstrations. In the middle of demonstrations, you watch me take out a 1080p projector, put it to the side and say, oh, we don't need this, and swap it out with a 720p. That's the one thing gunmetal technology can preach about, because they have a darker technology. You are literally getting all those details and nooks and crannies that pop out of the screen because it's a darker technology. And any of the technology is 100% black. So that 720p Christie projector can do this. When a P2 at $3,300 on a gray screen can't do it. Now, for the person who made the statement, I'm addressing you. I'm not even going to say your name because I don't want you in my videos. You see my environment. Take a gander. See how my windows are open? See how we have plenty of light pushing through? See the overhead lights? You see the size of my screen. It's huge, right?
Introducing new
You see where my projector's sitting at? It's 21 feet. You cannot do this in your demonstration because, again, as I said before, your screen is failing the projector that you have.
Ever wondered what the future of driving will look like?
This is a dark contrast, very dark contrast commercial. We're up early in the morning. Gray screen can't see this.
Advanced highway driving assist. Kia. Movement that's
Alexis, what time is it?
It's 7:19 a.m.
It's 7:19 a.m. I can come in here, all my lights on, boom, and do this. This is what companies want. Companies are not going to turn their environments into dark dens. They don't want to spend the money for expensive projectors. If they can save money, they're going to go that route. That's how it is. But people sometimes walk in and see an establishment that has money, and they automatically go, oh, you got to buy this and buy that, and charge them a ton of money for something that they don't need. My projector behind me was perfectly fine. 8K desired nature.
Getting that from YouTube.
Man, today is going to be a busy day. I got to be at 2 different job sites today, so it's going to be really busy today. And if they got the internet hooked up at the other place, I'm going to be there for the entire day because I got demonstrations to do in there. It means I got to start hanging the screens, I got to start ordering the projectors and all that stuff. So that's one project. And then Tuesday, I got to go all the way back to the other place, and I got to set up a window display in there, and I got to go measure out the ceiling because the ceiling is going to be insane that we're installing in. It is going to be insane. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's going to be a custom job. So that is going to take time. We get done with this place, it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. A lot of the technology you're going to be bringing in there is going to be from the exotic collections. They want different color products in there. And I still got to do demonstrations on the screen paint we just did for the liquid screens, for the fish shade screens. So I got to go and get those done because we got companies that want to see that. Now, here's another thing too, real quick. The person who made the statement. Projector behind me, I think, has 2,000 or 3,000 to 1 contrast. Your projector has a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast. You can't do this. I've seen the demonstration, I've seen the pictures, dark environment. Do you see any Christmas tree lights flashing behind the back of my screen? Look at the size of my screen. I'm just talking to the individual so you can understand. Next time you come on YouTube talking about something you know nothing about, educate yourself on the product first, because again, like I said, Christie's not your everyday projector. These are called top tier projectors. You won't pop over and see a display on projector mapping hitting the White House or hitting some massive display, and you look at that projector, it's not going to be an Optima. It's going to be either a Christie, Barcode, or Ronco. These are the big boy toys. So you know nothing about that machine. It's old because it's an older machine. It works perfectly fine on our technology. It's the same projector I use to knock out certified screens. The same when I do all my testing. We use different demonstrations. It's the same thing. It's a 720p unit. The reason why it doesn't work on your product, because nothing works on your product. It's outdated. I don't have a 2,000,000 to 1. I'm not running 4K. I'm running 4,000 lumens at 21 feet at 720p at maybe 3,000 to 1 contrast. And I don't match anything close to a white surface. I'm not walking over to the screen to show you that, no, we're not doing that. We'll stay right here where we're at. And on top of that, I'm in a fully lit environment. Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
So to advise people to buy the P2 based off your product, no, don't do that. The P2 is a good projector. It doesn't work on his product. It should look much better than that. You're not even getting the full potential of that machine. Can you do this right now? Pull that projector back, max out a good size screen over the 100-inch, I think 120 to 120 inches, I think they do. Yeah, 120 inch. Go beyond 120 inch. If you can get 120 inch starting, 120 inch on that projector, you can get 150. I plan to get 150 on our display. We're not going to do 120 inch. That's too easy. Everybody does 120 inch. I'm getting 150 inch off that projector. It starts off at 100 to 120. So I know we can get 150 out of it. We got projectors that only do 80 inches and we get 150s off of them. So I know we can get 150. I might get 160 off that machine. Now, in that setup, I could have advised them to go out and spend the money for overpriced, expensive projectors. I could have said, hey, you might need this and need that. Why would I, to begin with? The only people who advise people to buy expensive projectors is because their screen is lacking. It doesn't work. They need that projector to make up for what their screen can't see. I can go in there and tell them to get 720p projectors because, again, our technology does all the work. So you don't know anything and you don't save anybody jack. Let's go over here back to my music now. Wait a minute. Red screen, just for fun.
Getting that from YouTube.
Just to show you how badly the color washes out. Now, like I said, this projector right here, back here, of course, if you're using a white or gray screen, it's trash. Without our technology, again, it doesn't work. So if you have our technology, you can use that machine sitting behind it with no problem. If you have a gray or white screen, it's completely useless. OLED jazz demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
For a minute. So this is why we're going to advise people to buy cheaper, older projectors, because this is what our technology does to them. Gray and white screens, silver screens, even the gunmetal technology we'll advise you to buy more expensive projectors to make up for what the screen won't be to pick up. I don't know why Gunmetal would make that statement because they actually make pretty good technology. But again, they do use all high-end projectors. Now, if any customer wants to get the same image I'm using right here, even on site, guess how much it's going to cost them? About under $300 for that projector behind me right now. For the fellow who made the statement, if they want the same image that you have, guess how much they got to spend? About $3,300. And they still got to be stuck in the dark. They still can't see contrast. They're still going to have to calibrate. Yeah, I don't think we're having that problem. On top of that, another topic you don't know anything about, projector mapping applications, which you know nothing about. This is another projector. This is the 1080p model right here that I use in demonstrations for projector mapping. Of course, you can't make statements on this because you don't know, you probably do know projector mapping, but you don't own the equipment. I do. I've had it for quite some time. I know quite a bit about it. And yeah, we use it all the time. As a matter of fact, this is for a display. This is the blue technology we developed, and they wanted to see whether or not it works with projector mapping applications. So that's a display we have for that. All right, well, that's basically about it. We've gone through time quite a bit here. We're gonna have our lights on because they want to know if we can use it in a fully lit environment. How much are the projectors going to be? Expensive projector? No, they're not. $270 right there behind me. So basically, like I said, we didn't mention, we don't want to name our videos, or we don't talk about him at all, period. And I got things to do, but I don't like, the reason why I stepped in on this, because again, you know, coming out and telling people that these projectors are old and outdated and they should never be bought, and we don't know what we're talking about. Buddy, I've used done more test demonstrations on this projector than you've done on that P2. These projectors have been outside. You haven't taken that P2 outside or done any demonstrations on that thing whatsoever. These projectors have more capabilities than the P2 you just displayed on your demonstrations, because again, nothing wrong with the P2, but he dumbed the machine down on a gray paint. Know what you're talking about before you start running your mouth. And most of all, the reason why we don't give you credibility for anything, because you have no testing. Your products match the house paint. That's the end of it. Matter of fact, forget about no testing. You match the house paint. That's the end of it. All right. All I've got things to do today. Just want to make sure that the customers, if you see those projectors, those are the ones that are advertising, go pick it up. Yeah, did some shopping. Actually, I went out and bought a training bar. We are shipping out today and tomorrow. I want to put this in there real quick. I got to put everything in here because I got to leave out the door. These are orders that are going out today. We are supposed to have the gallon containers that were supposed to be here yesterday but didn't get here yesterday. So we have 8 gallons that have to go out. Don't worry, I got you taken care of real quick. I'm gonna do a fast shipping update because I don't want to get confused with this, but I'm adding this in here. You're going out today. I got somebody else that's going out right away right now because their shipping date is actually expiring today, and I got to get you taken care of. See, this is also another thing too. Doing all those demonstrations, back to that individual, the hater. Doing those demonstrations about telling people that how you can make, people are not going to buy from you. The only people who basically make that stuff at the end of the day are your sheep. But customers who know our testing, that know that we know what we're talking about at the end of the day, that know that our products work, they buy from us. They don't want fakes, they don't want copycats, they want the real thing. That's what they want. Got to do another 8 gallons today, and I got some other stuff. Matter of fact, the same screen we have is sitting up in a couple of our showrooms right now. Not showrooms, but we're going to be on site. All right, people. I got to get out of here. I got to do a really short update for basically for what time we got right now? We're 7 o'clock. Alexis, what time is it?
The time is 7:30 a.m.
7:30. I got to be out of here at 10 o'clock. I got to get ready and dressed, and done. I gotta go to the post office. I go to the post office now. I need to come back and that would kill me sometime. Then I can jump on site and finish the rest over there. Okay, I got it all planned out. I gotta get dressed. I gotta work out. Let's see. My brain's racing 100 miles an hour. These projectors work perfectly fine. Like I said, don't even trust the advice of someone at the end of the day or giving you information today who doesn't use these projectors at all. Period. And again, This products don't work on them at all, period. They don't work at all, period. You're gonna spend all this money for a machine that he's sitting in the dark with right now. He can't even pull a proper contrast level. So that tells you right there that the product, it doesn't work at all, period. When we get a chance to pick up the P2, because they're not paying for, they're going to pay for the on-site setup, we'll show you the difference. We'll do half gray, half white in our black technology on that projector. Then we're going to blow it up at 160 inches and display it off. All right, well, with that being said, I got to go. Got to come and do a real short update on basically for the customers for ship out. And after that, I got to get out of here. Got to go. Thank you all, and God bless.